everybody, thank you for watching our videos. As usual, we hope you like it, and today we will show you our sailing at Puget Sound, San Juan Islands. Of course, as usual, we had plans which island we are going first and second and third, but and it happens all the time because of the weather, because of our wishes, we changed our plans, and we will show you where we went that time.
Zena and I are not from this part of the country. Obviously, she's not even from this part of the world, but I'm from the eastern United States, and so Washington is new to us. Bellingham, which is a city very close to the Canadian border in Washington on Puget Sound, happened to be the location for the San Juan Sailing School, which is where I took all of my classes except one when I was learning to sail. As a result, when time came for us to charter somewhere in Puget Sound, San Juan Sailing, which also runs a charter business, seemed like the logical place. So that's where we went for our week's charter, and honestly, I would go back. The people at San Juan Sailing are really great. They have a good fleet, nice boats. They're expensive, but charter boats are expensive everywhere, so there's nothing unusual about that.
The marina was really nice, and our actually favorite thing to do here was go around in the evening when we docked here, go around in the evening and look at beautiful different boats and wildlife. You can see they don't even afraid of you.
Are you scared?
Our boat is cool runnings. Okay, we accept it. You can tell that the weather is not really warm. It is the beginning of September, and it is cool. Our boat is cool runnings, and it is cool outside as well. But during the day, the weather was better. It was warmer. We enjoyed weather here. It's a little bit different than in BVI or in Southwest Florida, but
The boat we chartered from San Juan Sailing was a Hunter 34 sailboat. If you know much about sailboats, you certainly know about Hunters. They have a reputation for being very comfortable cruising boats and made really more for comfort than they are for cruising, in the sense of they're not particularly great sailors. They're definitely not made to cross oceans, but they are made to be comfortable. This boat was comfortable as well. It had, like all the charter boats we've ever had, it has things wrong with it, but it was comfortable. And in fact, for a 34-foot boat, it was very comfortable. My biggest complaint about it was that the bathroom was really small and there was no separate shower, which means that taking a shower means that you and the bathroom both were covered with water. Not just you, but the bathroom too. And so you had to kind of clean the bathroom after you finished taking a shower. But as you can see, it had a nice galley, nice kitchen, complete with microwave, a refrigerator with a side opening door instead of a top opening door was not ideal because we discovered that it tended to leak water out the door. But it really was a nice boat and in great condition to be about, I think, 13, 14 years old. It's about a 2007 Hunter, 34-foot Hunter, but it did just fine for us for this week's trip in the San Juan Islands. As far as what was wrong with it is concerned, it did not have a working Windex at the top of the mast, which made it challenging sometimes to figure out at a glance where the wind was coming from, and the things that you use the Windex for were not available to you. But other than that, I think and we had a problem with the fact that the holding tank for the bathroom had not been emptied as well, in spite of the fact that they said it had been. It had not been, and therefore it was stinking, and we had difficulty with that. But there's always something with charter boats. But as a general matter, it was a nice boat with in-mast furling, and for its size, very comfortable. And as you can see there, we also rented a paddleboard to go with it. It had a great slip there at the marina. Really convenient, right on the edge of the marina. You see that rock wall behind the boat. On the other side of that wall is the very large Bellingham Bay. And so we had a really convenient slip for getting in and out of the marina.
Like I told you already that we liked, in the evening, we liked to walk on the dock and looked around. And many people, of course, live on boats. But I have never seen the garden near the boat. Here, somebody planted sunflowers. It was actually beautiful and unusual, and carrots. And there was peas, green peas, some other kind of herbs, onions. Because Ben went to school in San Juan Sailing School, and he got an instructor for 1 day free. We decided to use it because I don't have experience. So we practice to put sails up and take it down. We practice anchoring. And actually he showed me some stuff. So it was great. But again, you see, it was the morning and the weather was a little bit cool. We were wearing warm clothes. But you will notice later you could wear even shorts. Yes, I will.
Okay, you can stay here. 125.
You see, we are coming back to our dock and I am wearing shorts already. It is the same day. So the weather is very, very different. Next day, we were supposed to go to Friday Harbor. It is about 25 miles from Birmingham.
Morning came and we were really anxious to get going that day, but you know, when you sail, you're dependent upon the weather and not what you want to do. And that day turned out, at least that morning, turned out to be extremely foggy. And we thought that it was going to lift, because it usually does lift in the Bellingham Bay area where fog is common. It usually lifts by about 10 a.m. So we thought we'd give it a try anyway. We didn't really want to get out that day. And so we get out into Bellingham Bay, less than a mile, probably a half to 3/4 of a mile. And the fog was not only not lifting, but if anything, it was getting thicker and thicker. It was really hard to see. And so we turned around and started going back.
But what is it, boat?
There were boats around, including a big anchored freighter, and so we thought we'd better start giving the noise signals. And so as you'll hear in the video, Xena was doing the noise maker, as you're supposed to when you're in foggy conditions.
We were lucky and we got to our dock safely, and 2 hours later look at the weather. But it was too late to go to Friday Harbor, and we decided to go to crab to do our crabbing stuff to Chuckanut Bay. By the way, about crabbing, I will tell you in a separate video. I will show you and will tell you about different places in San Juan Islands where we did our crabbing. But it will be a separate video. I will show you how crabs get in the cage. I put GoPro underwater, and you will see how crabs are fighting. It will be very funny. Don't miss it. But the water is beautiful. We needed to wait at least for an hour when crabs will be hungry and will get in the cage, and we decided just to cruise around for this hour and just look around. Of course, you need to be very careful. There are many crab pots in the water, and it is a big problem there. I got my crab pot with crabs, first time in my life. But like I said, I will show you in a separate video in many places my crabbing. Next day, we were on our way to Friday Harbor. Like I said, it is 25 miles away from Bellingham, and we sailed and we motored. It is different than, like I said, than Southwest Florida or BVI, USVI, I showed you in my previous videos. But it is beautiful as well, but different.
The largest town, really the only town in the San Juan Islands, the rest are even so small that they should really be called villages. The only real town in the San Juan Islands is Friday Harbor. And Friday Harbor, I don't know, has maybe 15,000 people. I'm not sure, I'm making a guess. But Friday Harbor is certainly the population center of the San Juan Islands, centrally located kind of in the middle of the islands. And it's a pretty little town with a great harbor, some interesting history, including a confrontation between the Americans and the British that happened in the San Juan Islands in the 1800s. It's kind of interesting to know about. And some similar things, some hiking and some interesting shops and stores and some good restaurants. It's everybody who goes sailing in the San Juan Islands winds up at one point or another in Friday Harbor. And in fact, if you go to see the San Juan Islands in any way, sailing or not, you will inevitably wind up in Friday Harbor.
This boat first.
Look, what is this? It is what I tell you. Interesting. Ferry is coming.
That's also where the ferries principally go from Anacortes and from Victoria on Vancouver Island. I think most of them also go to Friday Harbor, although you can catch ferries to other places in the San Juan Islands, many of which depart and return to and from Friday Harbor.
It is a really beautiful harbor. Beautiful boats, beautiful place. And in my previous videos, I told you that we like to sit on the boat in the evening and watch what is going on around. And by the way, I saw another garden on the dock. You see pepper and cabbage. People are trying to grow something. And our neighbor's boat had a cat. A cat was sitting and watching probably the people, like we were watching this cat. It is funny. But later we noticed that there is not only a cat on that boat, there is a dog. A dog probably were waiting for food, for dinner. And by the way, there were two dogs and a cat. They are sailors, real sailors. Next morning was really beautiful. Look at the reflection.
No, it's tied to something. Ah, anchored, yes. There's a little hole.
And next we are going to show you another great place, Rosario. Don't miss it. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like it, show it, please. And we will see you very, very soon.